Popular Twitch streamer Henreek joined me on today's episode as we talk about NHL 26 and some of its newest features. I think a lot of you gamers are gonna like it. There's so much to discuss on today's episode of Locked On Devils alongside Henreek. Buckle up, everybody.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, this is Bryce Salvador, and you're Locked On Devils with Trey Matthews.
Scores! Oh, Steven stepped up, nailed him. Brodor's got the puck. What a shot. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
Alrighty now, what is up, New Jersey? Welcome back to the Locked On Devils podcast here at the Locked On Network. I'm your host, college hockey play announcer, Devils Writer, Pucks Pitchforks, and also part-time credential media member, Trey Matthews. It's that time of the year. NHL 26 is set to hit shelves on September 5th if you ordered the deluxe version. And joining me on today's show for the second time ever, he's a professional Twitch streamer, so he knows all things about video games, what he likes and what he mostly doesn't like about the Chel franchise. Please welcome Henreek. Not Adam Henreek, but Henreek the streamer. Henreek, how you doing, man? Had you on last year to talk all things Chel, and I'm just like, I need another professional to discuss video games.
Yeah, no, I'm doing well. I'm excited. I mean, the game's coming out a lot sooner this year, a lot earlier. It came out I think late September last year. So it's really exciting. I can't wait for it.
We'll talk about that momentarily. Obviously, the Tkachuk family, they graze the cover. Matthew, Brady, and of course, Papa Keith. Definitely looking forward to hearing your thoughts, but let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to last fall. NHL 25. It had the Hughes brothers, Quinn, Jack, and Luke. We talked about some changes to the game, what you were looking forward to. I think you tweeted out and said that NHL 25 was, in your opinion, one of the worst video games in the Chel franchise. Is that true? And can you go off on that a little bit?
Yeah, I was, at that point, mainly just talking about the gameplay specifically. I didn't like how the gameplay, like the state it was in at that time. And yeah, I feel like the game, it had some positives for sure, but there were some negatives that I think kind of weighed down the game. And I think a lot of people felt that way in the community. Like goalies in NHL 25 were very bad. Right. And that's something that seems to be addressed in 26. So we'll see. But
now I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not purchase the game because I was not interested in paying $70 for a roster update, despite the Hughes brothers being on the cover.
You had to get the Hughes brothers. Oh, come on. You got to at least get the cover.
Look, I'll probably get like the poster if they ever release it or if they haven't done so already. But yeah, I wasn't interested in playing or paying $70 for a roster update. As you know, I'm more of an offline gamer, and I love EA Sports. Don't get me wrong. I'm addicted to their college football franchise. I think it's one of the best video games out there. I'm like, I don't usually get addicted to video games all that much, but that is a game that I am playing heavily on Dynasty, career mode, all that. Let's talk about some potential changes that might be coming to NHL 26. What I'm having hope here is that I think we're going to see a different Chel this time around because we saw some drastic changes in another EA Sports video game, which is Madden, because I think the player likeness deal that they have with the NFL, it's set to expire at the end of the season. So obviously they're doing anything they can to make everyone happy so that way a contract can come into fruition. And I think we're seeing the same thing with Chel 26, albeit I have no inside information on this. I'm just speculating, but do you have any hope that Chel 26 will be drastically different compared to Chel 25? Because we're going to talk about the My Career mode in a second.
Yeah, no, I definitely do, because they also have this deal now with the NHL where it's called Ice Q 2.0, and they kind of reimagined how all the players are going to kind of play more like themselves, and like they have more animation based X factors. So like, for example, Austin Matthews, right? He has an ability where when he shoots like a wrist shot, he gets like a special animation for his shot that not every player has, right? So it's definitely the gameplay is going to be more. It should be more unique because a lot of players have different animations. Like the specific players, like McDavid has wheels, and he is significantly faster than players that don't have that wheels X factor. And it's 3 different tiers. So like the lowest tier, the middle tier, and the high tier. And McDavid, of course, has the highest tier for that. And yeah, I mean, they've had X factors in the past years, but this year it's going to be a lot different because of how the animations are going to be kind of tied into them.
Now, can you go into a little bit more detail about that? Because look, I'm more of an offline gamer. I don't play online. So honestly, when you say like X Factor, wheels, all that, it seems like just buzzwords to me. Like at the end of the day, like I think you'll notice the speed, but it's just like, is that really enough?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's definitely, I agree with you. Like, I'm not going to like say it's like, oh, this is it. Like, this is the game forever. Like, this is the best game coming up. But for sure, from what I've seen, there is a lot of differences in the gameplay, especially with the goaltenders. I'd say like they have all these different like saves that they're able to react. Like when a goalie was down in NHL 25, like down and out, they would have no chance of actually making the save. Now, say if the goalie gets down, they're actually able to react to another shot quickly. Like they actually have a really good chance of actually being able to recover and make that save. And yeah, I mean, like the X factors, like I said, I mean, they have huge impact on the game this year because you have like the stick 'em up X factor, for example. That one is like a defensive X factor, and it'll help, with poke checking. Like it'll give them quicker poke checking. Like if the player has that X factor, truculence is like the hitting X factor. So like if you have like the highest tier truculence X factor with a player, you can line them up, and if you hit them, the opposing player can actually lose their stick and they'll be down for a longer period of time.
Now let's talk about Grudge Match that was integrated into the game last year. Did that really play a factor? Because it seemed like they were hyping it up a little bit, and I'm just like, that seems interesting. But like I said, I didn't play the video game at all. So like, what was that about?
I would say, honestly, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I didn't really think the Grudge Match was that like significant. It was cool to see like throughout the year. So I play Hockey Ultimate Team mainly. So like it would show your previous matchups against that player. So if like you matched them a lot, you'd see like your record against them throughout the year. So that was kind of cool. But like the special like added on X factors for Grudge Matches, I didn't really think that mattered or made a huge difference at all. It was more just kind of cool to see, I guess, like the previous matchups. But otherwise, to me, it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Before we continue with today's episode, let me tell you guys about FanDuel. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're getting ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet, and please remember to always gamble responsibly. Okay, let's talk more video games with Henreek. Take it away once again. Okay, let's talk about something that might be a big deal, and that is finally, we are done with expensive pond hockey, where you play Be a Pro feature, and you're on the phone with your agents. You're playing pond hockey somewhere up in the mountains in Canada or Utah, and I'm just like, can they please change this up? Because it's just copy paste with the game over and over. But it seems like they made some big changes, like you're going to start off in juniors. You could be sent down to the AHL. It seems like Macklin Celebrini will have things to say to you as you progress. You now have more repercussions if you say the right or wrong thing to the media. What have you noticed from the revamped Be a Pro feature?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. The last time they really changed Be a Pro was NHL 21. So it's been quite some time. It's the first time on this current generation. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's PS4, right? And
for anyone who's not watching on YouTube, I'm holding up the game cover right now. Alex Ovechkin was the cover athlete, and to Henreek's point, NHL 21, it was still being released on the PlayStation 4, and I believe, this is like, we're talking about like COVID times.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was 2020 that game came out. When you think about it, it's crazy. But yeah, this year Be a Pro, it got a lot of love. It really did. They have all these voice actors they got from like in the media, like just like random, like I think voice actors, not like specific guys. But it's completely revamped. They have a whole like new energy system where like your player has to kind of like do certain like I guess like energy like it's definitely like more in depth when it actually comes down to like your player on a day-to-day basis as well. And it just seems like there's more of an impact on what your choices are, right? Like if you make the, wrong choice, I guess, or the, the more, I guess, toxic choice, you'll get different storylines, right? And it's different like chapters each time. So like your chapter 1 will be when you start in World Juniors, right? And then of course there'll be another chapter when you get drafted, and then when you try to make the team. And yeah, so it's a lot different, pretty exciting. And like you said, the Macklin Celebrini voiceover, I'm not sure if there might even be some other players that have their voiceover. So should be interesting to see.
I also noticed that there's going to be like unique tunnel entrances, things like that. I hope we get Ovi doing his like shuffle, like maker dance, bands maker dance. So like I'm hoping we get that, but I think it's just for teams that have like a unique
at this time at least.
Yeah, a unique entrance. Like, you see what the Sharks do,
Vegas
does, and Vegas is by far the loudest arena I've ever been to. Next time I go, I need earplugs. But digressing a little bit, do you think NHL 26 has potential to like regain its popularity? Because when people like you say like NHL 25 wasn't really that good, it wasn't really worth it, do you think it's good enough for someone like me to come back to it?
So I'll say yes, because I think it's going to be a really good game for people that love offline games and like casual players, because Be a Pro, I mean, that's going to get so many people to come back right away. Because if you're someone that loves playing Be a Pro, I mean, for the last 4 or 5 years, what would be the point of buying the game besides the roster update, right? Realistically, if you only play Be a Pro. So, I mean, you're going to instantly get a lot of new players to come and join and buy the game this year just because of Be a Pro, like 100%. So many people played Be a Pro. Be a Pro's played more than most modes in the game, I'd say. I think definitely it's going to get a lot of people to come back. And for sure, like if you're someone that loves offline on NHL, I think this is a great game to come back to. I really do.
Well, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Let's talk about what you like to play mostly. So you talked about how you enjoy HUT, Ultimate Team, all that. Just talk about like what you specialize in when you're playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly play Hockey Ultimate Team. Like I stream and make videos like primarily on that mode. I do like play other modes at times, like World of Chel. Like that's fun to play with like viewers, right? Franchise mode, I do play as well. I actually like usually later in the year when HUT's kind of dried up. But no, I really like all modes, but HUT is the one for me for sure.
I hope you're more of an aggressive GM than Tom Fitzgerald if you're like building the Devils. And I definitely want to ask you your thoughts on the Devils, because like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, you are a Devils fan first and foremost. I think that's why your screen name is Henreek.
Oh, it is.
Just an educated guess. Like you remember that Doc Emmerich legendary call in the playoffs that solidified the win against the Rangers, and Devils go to the Stanley Cup. Is that why?
Yeah, because my name, it used to be spelled like Adam Henreek's name, but I eventually changed it to just like Henreek instead of like Adam Henreek's last name. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely why. I mean, that's definitely my best moment as a Devils fan. I was only 13 years old at the time. So yeah, it was special.
Okay, so let's talk about family ties. Last year, it was the Hughes brothers who were on the cover. This year, it's the Tkachuk family with Keith Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, and now 2-time Stanley Cup champion Matthew Tkachuk. What do you think of that with the franchise just trying to, I guess, make it more family oriented?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I feel like after this year, I mean, there's not many other families you probably can put on the cover, right? But No, I like it. I think it's a cool cover. I really do. To me, last year is still better. I mean, I guess I'm biased, right? But I definitely like the Kachucks on the cover. And I mean, you kind of got to show some love to Florida at this point, right? I mean, 2 Stanley Cups in a row.
Right. And here's the thing that I actually realized. NHL might be the most sold EA sports game in Canada, not the United States, because obviously you got Madden, college football. But I think I saw a stat somewhere saying that NHL for EA Sports, by far, their most sold game in Canada is their hockey franchise. So that dawned on me. I'm like, they should really make some big changes then, because I mentioned it to you last year that I get that they probably don't have the same budget as like NBA 2K or what they have for their other games like Madden, because there's a huge demand for football in the United States. Yeah, so like that just I found that quite intriguing. I'm just like, yeah, so if it's their most sold franchise in Canada, why don't they make those big time changes?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, and a lot of people don't realize it because it's funny. Like you see every year, oh, I'm not buying the game, or this game it's dead. NHL is dying as a franchise. But realistically, the numbers each and every year it does show that people are still buying the game. Like that is definitely the case. Like for sure. Yeah, I feel like it's trended downward, in some years, but I do think that it is kind of going on or in the right direction here. I mean, I think next up, they need to have connected franchise. I think that's something that absolutely needs to be in the game. But for the most part, I do like what I'm seeing, and I feel like the people in charge, they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to video games, I think we're getting to a point where it's like, what more changes can they make? Because I remember the jump from PS3 to PS4, and it felt like a new world of video games. But here we are, we're in the PlayStation 5, Xbox One era. I don't think we're too far away from maybe the PS6 or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Next Xbox franchise, I would say anywhere from 2 to 5 more years. But it's crazy how time moves. All right, let's talk Devils specifically. Let's look at some of the ratings for the Devils. Coming in at number 1 on the Devils rating for NHL 26, it's Jack Hughes at a 93 overall, 18th best player in the game. High, low, or just right?
I think just right. I mean, I don't think he really should be much higher than that because the players that are probably above him are, I just think, better than him, right? So no, I think that's pretty fair for him. I do.
All right, Jesper Bratt, 91, 31st best player in the game. High, low, or just right?
Yeah, I think just right. I mean, maybe he could be 92, but I don't have a problem with that. I think it's pretty reasonable.
McDavid is the highest rated player, right? At 97.
Yeah, like it's close to 99, but yeah, he's definitely the highest.
I was say, why don't they do a 99 rating for him?
Yeah, I always wonder that. I guess to have some potential room to grow if he like plays even better this year, maybe like a roster update he could go up. I don't know, but
okay. Maybe they just wanted to save 99 for Gretzky or
yeah, that's true.
Or Lemieux or players like that. Nico Hischier, 89 overall, 45th best player in the game. Personally, I think that's a little low, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. He should probably be like a 91 in my opinion because he's a center, right? He's good defensively. I feel like he deserves a little bit more respect. He had a career year like in terms of goals. So,
all right, Dougie Hamilton, 93rd best player in the game, 88 overall.
Pretty solid, yeah. I mean, I think it's more his offensive game that I think gets him that overall, but yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fine.
Okay, here's the more controversial one, and that is Jacob Markstrom. Markstrom comes in at an 87 overall, 99th best player in the game. He's not in the top 10 when it comes to highest rated goalies. I saw one of my colleagues, Neil Villapiano, who's the host of Devil's State of the Mind podcast, and he said like that's controversial. Do you think Markstrom should be in the top 10 tier when it comes to best goalies in the game?
I don't, I actually don't think so. No, I mean, he had a solid year, but like realistically, I mean, he was pretty like hit or miss after he came back from the injury. So
he was a big reason why the Devils fought as hard as they did.
Oh, in the playoffs for sure. But like, I mean, I just feel like if you look at his whole season, I mean, what do you have, like a 900 save percentage? Like, is he a top 10 goalie? I don't know about that.
Well, he wasn't. He was one of the top goalies when it came to shutouts. I think he and Jake Allen were very underrated.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he was great early, but I feel like after he got hurt, he wasn't the same, unfortunately.
I guess so. All right. So Markstrom this season appeared in 49 games, obviously got hurt in January, missed some time. He had a record of 26, 16, and 6. He had a 2.5 goals against average with 4 shutouts and a 900 save percentage.
Yeah, like, I mean, I love Markstrom. I do. I'm not trying to say I don't think he's good, but I just feel like, 10 goalies I think are better than him. I could say maybe he's around 12, 13 in the league. I think that's fair. Like, I think Allen had a better year than him. Like, if you really look at the totality.
Allen appeared in similar amount of games, but obviously more pressure was put on him in January once Markstrom went down with his injury. All right. Here's one I think is very controversial. Luke Hughes is an 86 overall, the 137th best player in the game, but ahead of him on the roster, Jonas Siegenthaler, Timo Meier, Brendan Dillon, Brett Pesce. Honestly, I think that's a little low for Luke Hughes, who, yes, he's not the best defensively, but he did lead the team in takeaways. He has great stick work. Yes, he's not physical. Yes, he sometimes coughs the puck up, but I think he should be one of the better defensemen with the highest rating on the Devils roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could probably be a tick higher, like maybe like 87. I mean, I guess it's his defensive play that's still probably holding him back from being higher overall, really. I mean, if he was like a bit better defensively, he'd probably be like an 88. So, I mean, I think he'll probably get to that, though, after this season for sure, if he signs.
Well, he will sign. He doesn't really have much choice.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
The length and term. Now, close out today's episode because I know you're a busy guy. You got to stream in a few hours. Let's talk about the Devils. Give me your thoughts on this past season, the offseason, and also the future.
I mean, the past season was very weird. I mean, because they started out incredible. I mean, the first, up until January, like top 5 team in the league. I mean, all the numbers backed it up. Like their advanced analytics were unbelievable. And then 2025 turns, everything plummeted. I mean, they started losing a ton. The analytics plummeted. It just didn't make sense because there wasn't even really any injuries until Jack got hurt, which again, that was already, that was in March. So it really was a strange year. I mean, I'm glad they got to the playoffs at least. I mean, if they didn't make the playoffs, that would have been a failure for sure. Disappointing, end of the season in the playoffs. But again, with no Jack, I mean, they weren't winning the series. I hate to say it. But I think they deserved a better fate than 5 games, though. They probably should have won at least 6. And going forward for this season, I mean, I'm excited. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be really good. It just gotta stay healthy. I mean, gotta stay healthy. We say that every year. I feel like if they have most guys play, 75 plus games, like the star players, I mean, you'll be in a good spot. Jack needs to get through this year. I mean, Jack needs to be playing in their final game of the year, regardless. Like, even if Jack does get hurt at a certain point, he can't be missing, the final 20 games and then the whole playoffs. Like, that just can't happen again, or else you're never going to win. I mean, that's just reality. So I think they'll be a close to 100-point team, as long as everything kind of goes the way it should. I mean, I think, yeah, they probably do need another winger and maybe a 3C, but, maybe the deadline, you can get creative.
Yeah, I think Dawson Mercer, he likes playing wing as opposed to center, but right now he's the 3rd-line center. Cody Glass is the 4th-line center. We'll see how it goes. I got to ask you because I'm curious. When you were doing like the franchise mode, did you choose the Devils at any point?
Not this past year. Probably like in a couple of years ago, maybe 24 or 23. I like to do like different teams usually, like try to change it up.
Okay. If you were playing the game, theoretically, and let's just say this video game puts you in the shoes of Tom Fitzgerald, what are you doing? What's the first thing you're doing in terms of a trade or a signing?
Well, I mean, you got to sign Luke, but I feel like it's going to be tough right now to get him long-term because they can only pretty much afford like a $6 million contract. I mean, they don't have any cap basically. So, I mean, realistically, if I could make it happen, I would move Palat's contract because then you could free up some money there and then you could sign Luke to the long-term deal. I think that's really like the most important thing they need to do, but I don't think Palat's going to be dealt. I just don't.
Well, maybe not for right now because the market is a little dry. We haven't seen a trade happen in the NHL for like over a month. It's been it's been a really boring offseason, with the exception of the Panthers retaining some of their pending free agents and also Mitch Marner going to Vegas. Not really anything groundbreaking happening in the NHL.
I mean, it's what always happens too. Every year, I feel like they always say, "Oh, it's going to be the busiest offseason. Oh, the cap's going up, so there's going to be all these movements and trades." I just don't buy it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it ever is going to happen. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't. Thing is, like, I know a lot of Devils fans don't like Tom Fitzgerald. I mean, I don't. I'm not like as out on him as some Devils fans are. Like, I feel like he's done a really good job. I mean, the team's in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I feel like he's made some mistakes, but every GM does, right? I mean, I don't think he's awful GM like some Devils fans think, but no, I mean, I'm willing to give him this year. I feel like in terms of like if a team doesn't, improve from last year, which would be really hard not to, I feel like, considering 91 points is not great, but I think this is a huge year, and I'm still believing in him in his plan long term. I am.
Well, Henreek, we talked about everything from NHL 26, your opinions on this installment and last year's. Where can my audience find you at?
So I stream pretty much every day on Twitch, the same name, Henreek, just twitch.tv/Henreek. And on YouTube, Henreek is where I post most of my content.
All right, awesome. And like I do to close out every episode, continue to stay safe. Have a wonderful day, New Jersey. Go Devils. Special thanks to my guest star, Henreek. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening once again.